So just imagine, one night you're in a deep sleep, so deep that you're dreaming about something. You don't know quite what it is, but it's keeping you from waking up. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you awake to this sound, the sound of a door opening, and there you have it, two guys staring at you. What do? Well, some people might say, well, I'll just freeze, or I'll go fight them, or those of you that have maybe a gun, oh, I'll just shoot them, or if you have a bat, oh, I'll just start hitting them with a bat. Some might say, I'm gonna call 911. Well, this is the problem. You got two guys in your bedroom, and you have to deal with the problem now. You need a plan, and you should have thought about that plan way before they came into your bedroom. Those of you that say, oh, I'll just shoot them, well, first off, you don't know who these people are. They could be a relative or a friend, or some other person that may have been invited in your house. Maybe they're trying to scare you. You don't see everything. You don't see that it's a bad person or a good person. And another thing is, and this is what I talk about in my book Stalker Poison, is in order to use deadly force, you have to fear for your life or someone else, and the threat has to be immediate. So the problem that I see with that is it's an affirmative defense. That means you're already charged with a crime of homicide, and you have to, this defense is something that you must use after you're charged, with a crime, which is a pain in the butt, to deal with. But that is an argument. Self defense, fear for your life. The threat was immediate. And another thing, if you just start shooting, like I talked about, it might just be a family member. You might hit the wrong person. Now, about 16 years ago, this happened to me. The same scenario. I remember being in a deep sleep, just like how I discussed at the beginning, and I heard a noise. I heard my apartment door opening, and I did have a roommate at the time. I thought, hey, maybe my roommate is having a party or he's having some people over. So I didn't put my mind into a different sense of alertness. I actually tried to go back to sleep. And all of a sudden, the door opened up, and I had seconds to make a decision. Mind you, I was armed. I had a 45 caliber Glock, model 21 at the time, underneath my bed. It was locked, loaded, and ready to go. All I had to do was pull the trigger. The problem with that is that was not. I never planned for anything like this to happen. Remember, the thing is, you can't just go to sleep thinking that somebody is going to break into your house, because you won't even go to sleep. That's a condition of alertness that is, that's almost impossible. That's an almost impossible condition to have before you go to sleep. You won't be able to sleep if you're in that condition. So, there are some different, heightened sense of awareness. You have a sense that somebody's in your house and you're prepared to take action, but you can't do that every time your door opens, or at least I couldn't. Again, I had a roommate. Sometimes he had people over, his friends, and then sometimes he just came through the door. I didn't know what time he came in, but not every time the door opens the apartment I'm gonna look for a gun. That's just ridiculous. So anyhow, I was very lucky. I shouldn't be alive. Okay, I had two gang members in my bedroom, and I froze. Okay, if you don't know already, I come from law enforcement background. At the time, I think I maybe had like a year experience. Law enforcement trained. I went through a lot of interesting encounters, throughout my career, especially at that time. So I was, I thought I was a badass. I thought I was prepared for everything, and I really wasn't. And I got to make a decision. I had to make a decision, and unfortunately, that decision, I just froze. It just scared the hell out of me. I did have a gun. So anyhow, these guys were more scared of me than I was of them. So what they actually did is they turned around and they ran. They booked it. At that moment in time, I remember going underneath my bed where my gun was at, and I pulled my gun out, and then I advanced forward. I cleared the living rooms real quick, make sure that there was anybody hiding, and after that, I did what any, I guess, law enforcement officer might do. You don't want these guys to get away, so I took my heavy ass gun in my pajamas, and I peeked outside and I saw that they weren't there. And then I closed the door and I called 911. Okay, I called 911. I made a decision not to go outside with my gun out looking for these people because, again, I'm by myself. I don't know what's happening. Other people, what they see is they just see a guy walking around with a gun. Okay, they don't know that I'm in law enforcement. They don't know what happened. And there's a lot of other, you got military guys that stay in that apartment complex, a lot of other border patrol, customs officers, and police officers that stay in the apartment complex as well. Bottom line, lessons learned is I wish that I would have had some type of maybe like I don't know, a door sensor or something like that would have alerted me. I wish I would have listened to my senses. I thought, again, something was unusual. I discounted that feeling, and I made an excuse for that. And that excuse was, oh, just my roommate has some people over. I was very fortunate to be alive. And afterwards, after this incident, I took different precautions. Now that I have a family now, my safety plan has kind of been interrupted. I can't have weapon available that quick anymore, just because I have kids. But there's some things that I have in my house. There's some different safety measures that I've implemented in my house, and these are the things that I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks on this channel. What can you do to not be in the situation that I was in? And in my book, Stalker Poison, I talk about the story and how I learned from it. I think you're going to find, in the next couple weeks, the training or tips that I have, I think you're going to find it very helpful. And it's no guarantee, but I think, one day it might save your life. This was an unfortunate opportunity. The guys were never captured. I don't know how they got in the house. I think that they may have slipped a lock or a key. But the bottom line is this. Just, imagine the door's closed. You're in deep sleep. Can't sleep no other way if you keep thinking someone's going to break into your house. And then, boom, you got two people, one or two people, staring at you. What do? You shoot them. Do you just freeze? Do you fight? And if you don't have a gun, what are you going to do? So again, these are things that we'll be discussing pretty soon. Anyhow, this is Sean, and I hope you guys all stay safe. Thank you.